Today, we are going to be doing a special video with my F-150. It has a special engine, the BOOST hybrid drivetrain. So it's got the 3.5 Ecoboost with electronic assist, the most powerful half-ton that you can get right now. It is a 2021 crew cab with four-wheel drive with a 3.73 rear differential. I'm going to be finding out if this truck is really more efficient than the 2.7 liter. I actually did this MPG test with a 2.7 liter first gen and I believe a second gen 2.7, and they got very good results. I'm talking 28.9 miles per gallon, really good numbers. But I'm going to take this 21 F-150 with the BOOST drivetrain, I'm going to put it in eco mode, and I'm going to do the same exact test with this truck and see what this thing can do in eco mode. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this. I'm going to jump in the truck. See you guys once we get inside the truck. All right guys, so we're inside the truck and I got the power flow screen pulled up so that we can see kind of how the power is flowing. This is going to be an eco mode test, and guys, I'm still getting kind of used to this whole setup. As you see, I'm reaching for this Pro Trailer knob, which is like, I feel like they got this Pro Trailer knob so high up and like you're gonna be using it all the time. I think maybe the drive mode knob should have been there because that's something you're gonna use all the time. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this in all the way into eco mode. And yeah, from there, we are going to also reset our trip computer back to 0. I believe there's only one, I don't know. This thing, all this stuff, the controls on the steering wheel and all that stuff, it's all new to me. Like getting used to this steering wheel, having your volume controlled on the left-hand side of the steering wheel instead of the right. I'm always messing that up. Typical Ford, Super Duty and F-150 has always been on the right with the volume control. I really do appreciate the Cruise, the new, well, it's not new, it's the space keeping, I don't forget what they call it, but it keeps the space from the vehicles in front of you. It's not new, but it is new to the XLT trim level, and before you would have had to get like a Lariat minimum to get all that fancy stuff. I like it, but I will say this, when you put the lane keep assist on, it's a level better than the previous system, but it will annoy you because it constantly tells you to put your hands back on the steering wheel and it doesn't seem to know that your hands are already on the steering wheel. So that part of it could be a little bit better. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this show on the road here. We're gonna drive normally. Right now we're getting 0 miles to the gallon, but we're also in all electric mode. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this show on the road here. All right guys, so obviously the goal for me right now in making this video is for this truck to turn back some very impressive numbers, because I am a Ford fanboy, and the last thing I want to do is have the BOOST not beat the 2.7 and anything like that. But I will say this, I am going to be 100% honest. There's going to be no trickery. It's going to have to earn its keep. Now, I am going to drive similarly to how I did, but I was really hyper-mounting that 2.7 years ago when I did this. So I'm comparing this truck to a video I did 4 years ago with the original first generation 2.7 liter EcoBoost. It was a 2015 F-150. It had four-wheel drive, and it had it was an extended cab, not a crew cab. So it was a bit lighter, probably most definitely a bit lighter than this truck. But hopefully with all this BOOST technology, it can beat the 2.7. Now I do think all city, I do think all city, maybe this truck can win. But I did do an all city MPG test with a BOOST. I did do an all city MPG test with a 2.7 second gen EcoBoost that did really good as well as far as MPG that we can compare it to, and that we can do the same test with. But we're gonna go ahead and do this one today, and we're gonna see how this truck does. So anyway, right now we are at It's not telling me. Okay, we're at 13.8 miles to the gallon. We are only a few turns into this drive, and yeah, we haven't gone very far yet. So we're gonna continue this drive. And I do think maybe there's another screen that I can reset, but like I say, guys, I'm still getting used to this power boost, because I'm not seeing the mile calculator on here, but either way, I guess it'll be fine. But anyway, I'm gonna continue this drive. See you guys at the next scene. All right, guys, so I just got down on the freeway. We are at 14.4 miles to the gallon. We are only like maybe 2 miles in, and yeah, 15 to the gallon, 15.1. Our engine is running. Our coolant is up to operating temperature. As you see on our screen right here, the drivetrain is doing engine on due to drive power. So right now our engine's on because it needs to charge up, I think, because I've been sitting in this truck warming up for all this time, that I think it just needs to charge it up. So tells you why the engine's on. So this test probably could be a little bit better if I would have had like everything charged up and not burning all this power, just sitting at home with the truck running, staying warm without the engine running. So maybe the battery is depleted. But yeah, it says it's on due to drive power. But our MPG is creeping up to 17.1. So the mileage, even if it's charging the batteries, the mileage isn't bad. It's just, it's just charging the batteries. But the drive, so I'm trying to be efficient, and the speed limit is 55, and we're cruising a smooth, easy going 57. And I could even lower that down to 55 if I wanted to. But that might be a little too slow. Right now, when you're going 55 in this area, the speed limit is 55, but nobody actually drives 55. So when you go that speed, you're getting tailgated, you're getting passed by semi trucks. As you see, these cars are passing me up. Yeah, you're driving like an old man. But it is the limit. It is legally the limit. It's more like it really should be changed from the limit to the minimum. Like, if you're going less than 55, you're a problem. Normally, if you're going like 80, you're good to go. But nonetheless, I want to see what this truck can do. We're still engine on. We've been engine on the whole time, and we're creeping up to 18, 19 miles to the gallon. So I'm going to continue this, and maybe I'll touch base with you guys once the engine turns off. And I'd assume the engine's going to turn off once there's enough battery power in the battery pack to where the computer feels like it can turn the engine off. So anyway, we're going to keep on this drive. It's super relaxing because it's like halfway driving for me, because I turned on cruise control. So it's maintaining the speed from the cars in front of me, and it is also just halfway steering for me. So anyway, let me see what happens here, and I'll touch base with you guys in a second. All right, guys, so I'm firing up the camera because the engine literally just turned off. So I'm very curious to how long it's going to be. Oh, it's back on already. Dang, that wasn't long. I was curious to how long it can be off, because I know it can be off for quite some time, even at these speeds, but it's hard to say. It's doing right now, the freaking driving, the cruise control is kind of messing it up, because it keeps trying to accelerate quickly back up to whatever speed, because somebody keeps stopping in front of me. It's also interesting how much you don't notice that the truck's actually slowing down for you. It's like you kind of forget that it's doing that. But whenever it wants to speed back up to my predetermined speed, it has to turn on the engine. But it can very well coast with the engine off. So it's kind of weird, but I mean, we'll kind of see what happens here. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this up again and touch back base with you if we get some clear road and this thing can actually do some fuel saving tricks. But right now it seems like there's just too much traffic for it to do it. We're held at under our speed that we predetermined, but definitely enjoying the adaptive cruise. See you guys in a second. All right, guys, we are getting close to our exit here. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but we are actually going to the Dearborn truck plant where this truck was actually built. And that's going to be our halfway mark for the test. And yeah, so this is the exit for that. Now, not a whole lot of time with the engine off on the highway here. You know, there was some instances when some of the fuel saving technology kicked in, but I think on the highway, this power boost stuff doesn't offer nearly as much value. So I don't know if this truck is going to be able to outperform the 2.7, the first gen 2.7 that we did in the same test. Now, this is a little bit unfair because when I did that test with that truck, I had a much warmer day than I do today. Today it's only 35, 34 degrees. It's not the same thing. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. You know, I can't get the same exact weather conditions on the same days, and this is a different season altogether. That was winter. That was summer when I did that, and now it's winter. So not quite a perfect run, but you know, if the power boost can pull it off, then we know that it's greatly disadvantaged and it's probably significantly more efficient in this particular situation. And at the same time, we got to realize we're not putting the power boost in the optimum conditions for it to be successful. We're putting it in conditions where it's on the highway, and the hybrid technology just doesn't have what it takes to turn off the motor as much on the highway. But right now, we are engine off. We are turning off our motor as we come to a stop. We're able to do low speed maneuvers with the engine off, and that's something that the 2.7 couldn't do. But anyway, I got a left-hand turn to make. I got like a half a mile to go, and then we'll be at the plant, and that'll be our halfway mark. See you guys there at the halfway mark. All right, guys, we are pulling up to the Rouge plant. If you can see that up there in the distance, you can see all the smokestacks and everything. This is where this truck was built. Very cool stuff. And we are gonna stop over at the employee parking lot, and that will be our halfway point. See you guys there. All right, guys, pulling into the employee parking here, and yeah. So this is pretty cool. This is where the new Lightning all-electric F-150 is being built. We're just cruising through the lot. Oh, look, you can see the new 150s behind that blue wall. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But that building, I think, no, or is it the building behind that one? Where the new, yeah, it's definitely the one behind that one. Where the new power or Lightning, there's like no room here. Must have hired, they definitely hired a bunch of new people, because normally this lot is freaking empty, but now it's just packed. So yeah, they've been hiring for sure. They've definitely been hiring. But anyway, we are halfway in. We're at 25.7 miles per gallon. We're cruising around this lot, and the freaking truck is not running. So let's go ahead and head back home, and let's see what this thing does on the highway on the way back home. Let's hit the road. All right, guys, and this is the turn to get back down onto the freeway. Now, if you saw the original video, there was a huge accident right here, and there always is, but luckily there is no accident today, and there's nobody hurt. So anyway, let's get back on the freeway. We did get up to 26 miles per gallon just in the city. The city driving has been freaking way good compared to the highway driving with the power boost. So I'm going to continue this. Let's get down on here, see if this thing does any better with the batteries charged and all that good stuff on the way home here. Let's do it. All right, guys, so we are just reaching 26 miles per gallon. We are about halfway back home to our starting point, and the engine actually did just turn off because we hit traffic. Now, normally traffic would be crushing for your MPG test, but in our case, being that we have a hybrid, this is actually where it shines. So this actually might turn out to be something that plays really in this truck's benefit, because like I was saying, the goal is to beat the 2.7. I don't know if it's gonna happen though. You know, it has to almost be like really stop and go for it to work, because like this, oh, we're gonna stop and then we're gonna go 50, 70 feet, 100 feet, 1,000 feet, and then stop again, that's still gonna kill me. But if we just hit gridlock and just go bumper to bumper, the truck can go all electric for that whole time. Now, as far as the adaptive cruise, I don't know if this has with braking or not. I haven't played with that yet, and I'd probably have to look at the build sheet a little closer, but yeah, it looks like it's clearing up anyway, so we'll see if we hit any traffic. It'll help us, because that little stunt, that little stop, that dropped us from 26 down to 25.8. So I don't know, we'll see. It's not looking like this thing's gonna beat 28 miles per gallon on this same test that the 2.7 did. But anyway, we're gonna try. See you guys at the next scene. All right, so we got into some heavier traffic. I am electric driving right now. And again, now we're over 26 miles per gallon again. We're at 26.3. And I've been able to drive all electric for quite a bit. So we're gonna see how long this lasts. It looks like we're going down maybe to one lane, and then maybe it'll pick up after that, but we will see. But anyway, let's continue this test. All right, guys, so we are going, and we're going 56 miles per hour. Semi trucks are freaking flying around me. Cars are all passing me. They don't like driving 55 miles, 56. I'm actually going 56, and that's only 1 mile over. But look at just the traffic. I'm that guy. I'm driving like an old man. But the reality is, this is how you're supposed to drive. I mean, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing the right thing. Everybody else is actually driving improperly. So it is what it is, I guess. But we are at 26.6. We're close to what that 2.7 got. So if we're lucky, we'll match it. Maybe once we get off and this hybrid stuff can go a little bit more. But what's really going to be interesting is how this truck does. Whoa, that car's going super fast. But what really is going to be interesting is how this truck does at the city version of this test, where it's all city. How will it do compared to the other second gen 2.7 that we tested? So we did the test with the second gen. We're comparing it now to the first gen, but we've also done this with the second gen. But anyway, I'm going to continue this drive. I'm going to touch base with our final number once we get back to our starting point. See you guys there. All right, guys, that's it, and that's that. This truck returned 27.6 miles to the gallon, which is less than the 2.7 Ecoboost. The 2.7 Ecoboost in the same exact test got 28.9 miles to the gallon. Now, the truth of the matter is, this truck was most definitely at a disadvantage compared to the 2.7 when we did that test. We had a much colder day. We had like 33 to 35 degrees. I will say my eco driving was at another level at the time. I was coasting behind maybe a semi. I was really like not hitting the brake, like sweeping around turns. That being said, nothing short of impressive that this truck was able to return 27.6 miles to the gallon with a mixture, mostly highway, but we had to drive to the plant, drive, for a mile or so to get off the highway to the plant, to the back. So there's some city mixed in. Doesn't get more real world than that. That would be a commute to work for a normal guy, park, driving on a lot. So there's a lot of variables that are entered, and it was somewhat consistent in the sense that it was the same trip, the same miles and everything. But for your convenience, I am going to put the video of me doing the original test with the 2.7, with the first gen 2.7 on this video, and it's going to be coming up next. Here's the clip. Roll it. Today I want to do a special video for my F-150. This is a special engine. This is the 2.7 liter Ecoboost F-150. I want to put the 2.7 to the test and see if it can return any better numbers than 21, which I know it can. So usually when I'm getting like 21, I'm driving like 70 to 75 miles an hour on the highway, and I'm just driving normally on the top side. So on this one, I'm gonna let the truck do all of its fuel saving little tricks, such as start stop and things like that, and I'm going to cruise at a low speed that's more optimal for getting good mileage, and we're going to see what kind of numbers this truck can return. So without further ado, let's get this thing going. So this is gonna tell us exactly how many miles we drove. So we're gonna start here. We're averaging 0 miles to the gallon. And we're gonna just roll the windows down. We're gonna do it like that. So this truck's real nice. So if you get an XLT, you can roll your windows down and you can open up this little back window here. It lets a lot of airflow through the truck. Right now we are at 15.6 miles to the gallon. And I'm doing things like not touching the gas pedal when I gotta come to a stop. So I'm trying to coast to the stops, you know, tricks like that to make the fuel economy as good as I can. Right here, I know I gotta stop, so I'm just drifting up here, or coasting up here. And coming to a stop. And allowing the start-stop technology to do its job. Roll on through that stop sign. Hey, I'm trying to save gas, you know what I'm saying? So I'm here in Dearborn where they actually built this truck. I just drove here. It's 19.3 miles away from where I live, and we averaged 27.9 miles to the gallon just by trying to drive efficiently, cruising at about 60 miles an hour. There were times where I had to drive 55 only because traffic was kind of slow, but we hit no traffic jams. We got off, we hit our usual 2 to 3 stop signs and stoplights. And the start-stop technology has been great. It's been saving me. Right now, I just got my foot on the brake and the engine's off. And we're at 27.9 miles to the gallon. That's pretty awesome for a truck. All right, at a stop sign here, I managed to swing around a couple turns without braking and got the mileage back up to 28.9, but thank goodness for start-stop technology, because now I'm not burning gas just sitting here. It's just a matter of getting to the next stop without burning fuel. Back home, and the verdict is in. I'm sitting here in front of the house, and I got my foot on the brake. We are at 28.8 miles per gallon in a pickup truck, in a 2015 Ecoboost pickup truck. Now the irony is, before I would have to drive my 6-liter Chevy. It had comparable capability. It was a 2500. It can tow maybe 1,000 or so pounds more than this truck. It was a 2004. It had a 6-liter V8. I would have to drive like this, really slow, really easy, just to get like 13 to the gallon. And in this truck, if I drive, you know, really light-footed, you know, 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour on the freeway, I can return 28 miles to the gallon. Now, our drive was for 57 minutes. We drove 38.6 miles. We used 1.3 gallons of gas in it, and we averaged 28.8 miles per gallon. All right, guys, and that's it, and that's that. That was me 4 years ago. You got to see me age. Well, you're seeing me age right now by 4 years. I am wearing a hat now, so it's a little bit, let me get the lighting right. But yeah, that was 4 years. This is, I don't know if I've gotten older, if time has been fair to me, but anyway, guys, that's it for today's video. This is DS Trucks. My name is Sean. See you guys in the next one. Over and out.